Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Universes Academy podcast. We are continuing our previews discussion, talking about some more previews that we've had show up for Set 2 Crimson Rampage.
This is part
When we
7 of our previews. Part 7.
this is number 7. 7.
Yeah.
We are going deep into previews. We're going to have,
Yeah.
I was going to say we're going to have 7 more, but I don't actually know. So I don't want that held against me later. We're going to have an amount more. How about that?
Yeah.
There we go.
We finished out. We're gonna finish out Todoroki's kit because we have the rest of his cards revealed. First up, we're gonna talk about Downward Frost Spike, which is a new attack. It is a 4 difficulty 3 check, a +2 low block, 3 low for 4. Obviously, Todoroki's symbols. A punch and a slam attack. So a punch attack from Todoroki. I feel like this is his first punch. Enhance your next punch or ranged attack gets +3 damage. Deadlock enhanced. This attack gains stun 3. Initial thoughts. I think the numbers are fine on it. The speed's a little low, but it's an off zone attack, so that's fine. That's not a big deal. It's got a good low block, and as we talked about previously, low blocks are always good to have. It's got a decent enhance. Your next punch or ranged attack gets +3 damage. I feel like on these symbols, it's probably gonna be more useful for the ranged attacks over punches. But I mean, I guess Order has a lot of punches from Midoriya's first set of cards from set 1.
And set 2, yeah. No,
Yeah,
he
and
doesn't have order.
Order. Yeah, he has.
He doesn't have order. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
My bad.
yeah. Although I think maybe the Sero card is a punch, so that has Order. But yeah, I think it's a fine card. I don't think it's gonna be busted or anything like that. But I think it's a perfectly good card. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts?
I think it's the Order version of Texas Smash.
Okay.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
you can play this with like you go this into what reverse throw.
Yeah.
And you soften up your opponent with like another attack because Todoroki he gives his next range. He gives an attack +2/+2. So you can play this and stack 5 damage on your reverse throw. So you're always dealing 5 damage to draw a card. And then when it goes to your momentum, you just cycle it right back into your hand during your opponent's turn or your turn. Unfortunately, it does not have range, so it cannot get stun 2 to soften your opponent up even more. But like John said, I believe the Sero ranged punch card could get stun 2 on it, which is a pretty good opener because you could go that, then this, then reverse throw, and that's kind of a beating because no one wants to get stun 2 throwed for 1,000,000 damage at the end of the string. So I like it. I think low attacks are always great, and as we see going forward, we're going to see the advent of a low throw Order build, so it's always been in the game, so which is great.
That +3 damage hits like all the Order throws, which is cool. Like every single one of them. That's going to be annoying. That's going to be very annoying. But yeah, I think it's a totally fine card. It's cool that it's got punch on it. It can fit in with some of those keywords from the Midoriya kit, right? And then obviously with ranged, it hits the fire and water kits that are on here. So yeah, thematically, it's great. It's doing good stuff.
And we should say it's got a pretty cool picture. It's like Todoroki punching down with some ice to throw Midoriya into the air. So it's, as always, we talk about every aspect of the card, right? Even the art.
Yeah, the art.
That's we give you your real deep, the real thoughts you won't hear on the Universes Academy podcast. We don't tell you about the art.
A Deadlock Enhance is nothing to snuff at either, because we've seen traditionally lately, Deadlock isn't that scary to be in unless you're going against a water deck. Isn't usually what people have said. Again, it's a water card. It gains stun 3. That's pretty neat. And then couple that with a couple of other water stuff, sweeping foundations, having them add foundations to their card pool. So it just adds into that whole, hey, water seems to be the best, hey, don't go into deadlock against it symbol right now. So with going forward, so we'll take a look at other cards. Maybe they'll change.
Yeah, I am definitely ready for some more deadlock stuff to get out there to actually try to punish people for just building into the Grey Wall. Next up, I believe we have Drowning in Resentment. Chris, would you like to tell us about Drowning in Resentment?
Yeah, it's a 2/5 foundation with a +2 high block. It has an enhance flip. This stun attack gets +2 or -2 damage. Playable while committed, which is great because anything that's committed that you can use is always nice to have extra resources. It also has a response flip. After a card leaves a discard pile due to your rival's non-character effect, add the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. So we got recursion punishment, people, and that it's not like backbreaking, but it is adding to progressive. So like Tokiyami uses his thing to pull out summon Dark Shadow.
Well, not as
no, not character. My bad, non-character.
Well, he does have an attack.
Yeah, he does have an attack. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Edit that in post, Ryan.
Post.
Anything that attack recursion. What are some stuff?
So like specialized sound waves.
Specialized sound waves. Yeah. Yes, that's the big one.
That's the big one. Technically, like staggering positivity, I think gets cards out of your discard pile, but I have yet to play that card.
This card totally poops on Momo, man. Bow staff. No, Momo. It got harder for her again. No.
I guess Go Beyond. It hates on Go Beyond a bit.
Yeah, Go Beyond. Yeah.
What's that card? I've never heard of that card.
Right. What else? It's got to hit on some other stuff.
Maybe there's some more stuff in set 2. We just haven't seen it revealed yet. I did read this card first, and I was like, oh my god, this hits a Racer. This is like Tokiyami. And I was like, oh wait a second, it says non-character.
Yeah, I got excited. Yeah, I got excited.
I mean, I guess it hates on like all the random Midoriya stuff we've seen that like builds 0 diffs out of the discard. Like if you build something, I'll just throw something in your card pool, bro. Have fun.
All his stuff, yeah. I think this is a neat card, like you said, Chris. Obviously, like being able to anything you can use while committed is nice, and it just saves you from dying, right? You give something -2, or you need just that additional +2, and you're like, well, it's already committed, but I can flip it. But yeah, I feel like it leans more towards like a sideboard card, like at face value, just like right now on like my gut reaction to it, because maybe you've got in your side deck and like, oh, I'm playing against an air deck, Air Jiro or any air deck, and they're going to run like at least 2 specialized sound waves. Like, well, let me put these in here and stop these shenanigans, because they have to decide when they want to use the responses, right? Because obviously they want to respond to stack the deck, then draw the card and have the check. But now if they do that after they stack the deck, you can, if they don't do it right, you can use this and put the card they would want to draw on top of their deck into their card pool, and now they have to then draw the check they've set up.
Something else this actually works against is the stuff that like puts a card from your opponent's discard into their card pool.
Oh, like sticky balls, stuff like that. Yeah.
So because it's after a card leaves any discard pile due to a rival's effect.
Oh, yeah.
So you can throw something into their card pool when they put something into yours. So that'll be cool.
That is cool. Do you have any?
Oh, yeah, that's really cool. That's interesting. Yeah, that's very neat.
Do you have any other thoughts on Drowning in Resentment, Ryan?
No, I just interjected and interrupted you guys all through it, so that's all.
That's fine. Well, as punishment for that, you want to tell us about ice gliding?
Yeah, I can talk about ice gliding. So it's a 1/5, +3 mid block, fire, order, water, same as all the others. Enhanced commit. This attack gets +1 or -2 speed. If it is blocked, the next attack gets +1 or -1 speed. So let's see. On defense, you're committing 1 foundation for 3, right? And then on offense, you're committing 1 foundation for 2. So you're basically getting like some cool rescue completed vibes out of this card, right? So like you can get 2 rescue completeds for 1 on offense, and like 1.5 for 1 on defense. I think it's totally fine for spam. Like I don't know if you're playing this in fire or even water, maybe. I guess it might actually have a hard time finding a spot in some decks, because there is a lot of 1-diff spam competition in those symbols, really. But I think it's a totally fine card. +3 block kind of hurts it. You don't want to get stuck holding a bunch of these, but yeah, I like the card. I think it's a cool card. It's a cool design. Like I like the stuff that gives you incremental effects across multiple attacks. I think that's really cool.
There was a card in Universes called 8,000 Degrees. It was basically +1 or -1 attack to this attack. I believe if it dealt damage, the next attack would get +1 or -1 damage. And it had a +3 mid. It was on a 1/5. It was a staple across all of its symbols. Okay. I have a feeling that this is going to be a staple across all its symbols. Okay. I actually think water struggles a bit on 1-diffs a little. A little bit. Because you look at precise control and you're just like, well, I guess I have to play that because there's really nothing else to play other than tape.
That's true.
Yeah.
Then like
And
Amphibious isn't
Amphibious is
necessarily
only
great
good if
in
you
all
use it in
decks. Yeah.
Yeah. So like this card will go into every one of these symbols at a 3 or possible 4 of, just because of speed hate right now is such a premium.
That's true.
Order doesn't have a whole lot of it.
They also eat a 3.
Yeah.
This is a 1 diff foundation he could ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
Like with fire and I want to say with fire and order, you're looking at your biggest speed hate card is either fire is like Evil Gaze, and what's the family reunion card, Heroic Lineage, and that has to be triggered off of a damage pump. So this is proactive speed hate, and the other one's reactive speed hate. Granted, it's for -3 speed, but you have to use that as a reactive ability. Obviously, I think this is actually a little better just because it's not reactive, but it's also cumulative, like Ryan said. Where cool, -2 breaker block you. Your next attack is coming in at -2 to its check and -1 to its speed. So I'm going to block the next one too, if you have to commit resources to pass it.
Yeah.
Yep. All in all, I think we all agree it's a good foundation. It's good. Like it's going to find a home in like at least 1 or 2 of them, probably a lot of decks.
I changed my stance. I now think that yes, I agree. It's not going to struggle with competition. This is going to go in every deck. I agree.
Good. That's right. We're all about being open to change here on the Universe Academy podcast. That's what makes the world better.
Right.
Next up, we have Cinder Convection. It's the final, I believe, Todoroki card from this set. It is a 5 difficulty attack, a 3 control check, a +1 high block, which is what we like to see, boys. A 3 mid for 5. It's got a billion keywords, so Midnight loves this attack too. It's a charge, powerful 3, ranged, stun 1. So it's got a lot of nice keywords here. Enhance, discard 1 momentum. This attack gets +1 to all of its keyword ratings. Okay. Enhance, if this attack is not blocked, both players lose 2 health, and it does not say that this effect cannot reduce any player below 1. So this can kill somebody if the enhance goes off. My initial thought is, so this is a ranged attack. So you can use Todoroki 2 to give this stun 2 and then increase its value. So that has powerful 4, stun 2, stun 3. That seems nuts.
Shaking my head very violently up and down right now. Yes.
You can also use Villainous Entrance to add another instance of stun 1.
Yeah, as you're playing off fire, or you're playing off order, and you follow this up with everybody's new favorite card, 1.3 indiscriminate shock, or 1.3 million volts indiscriminate shock, right? And just because their entire board's just tapped down at that point. We're gonna go into Magical Christmas Land. I've also got my 4 making a stands out, right? And I'm giving all of these +1 damage.
Everyone's going to be maining like 4 copies of Resistance, even if they don't play the symbols. Like, I don't care. I'm not dying to stun, man. I'm not dying.
I'll take the DQ. I just don't want to lose to it.
Someone with style, Resistance.
Yeah.
I think this. I'm with you, John. I think this card's nuts. It's fantastically. The stats are solid. The keywords make it what it makes it like what Chef's Kiss, right? Like you play this card as an opener just to stun your opponent's board down. The cool thing is too, just a side note about the enhance ability. So if you're both at 2, I mean, it's a weird closet case, but if somehow you're at 2 and your opponent eats it and goes down to 2, you get to choose the order of which player takes 2 first, because it's your effect. So you knock them down to 0 before you take 2, and the game is over because they're at 0 instantly, and because they take the 2. So no matter what, so if let's say someone's at 7 and they just eat it, they die because you burn them for 2. And then, this was an older Universe's ruling where there was a card that said if it dealt damage, both players took 2. And there was a weird double knockout one time, which is confusing. So I'm not going to get into that. We're not here for old man story time.
Yeah, this card's crazy, man. Like, this card's only a rare. I figured it, like, usually if you see a card with like this many keywords, like a really good block and 2 impactful effects, it's usually an ultra rare. But yeah, I think this card's gonna be really cool, especially in Todoroki 2. Like John said, adding extra instance of stun and then boosting it up just to like stun the whole board out just immediately. Hey, what if you just go like say you have 2 momentum, right? and you go giant ice ball into this. Oh my god. Good
Save
lord.
me now, boys. Save me now.
You know,
the art is fantastic too. I know
the art's also.
I know John's usually the cultured one who brings up the art, but I'm gonna say it before he does. The art is probably some of my favorite I've seen in this set so far.
Yeah, I imagine it's gonna have a really awesome. It's gonna have a really awesome foil pattern. It's also gonna probably be a really sweet XR.
Yeah. I'm gonna be real. I like will look at the art when we're talking about these cards, but I couldn't tell you the art on any card. Any card, if you asked me to tell you what it was, I have no clue. I don't ever look at the art, man.
Well, I mean, eventually we know what all the cards do just by knowing the picture, right? Like we play the cards so much, and we just like, oh, I know what that does. Let's go to the picture. So
I know, like
you gotta enjoy
the picture
the art
at a
sometime,
glance.
Ryan. Come on, be cultured.
I know the art at a glance, but like, I can tell you what Stronger Darkness looks like, but I can't tell you what's actually happening on the card. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. it's the claws coming out from
Who knows?
Dark Shadow.
Who knows? I know it's got like the color in this area on the card, and there's a bird on it. That's all I can tell you.
When I was doing the commentary for the first provisional, I was calling out the cards, and then like off stream or whatever, like in between a break or something, Aspiria asked me, he's like, "So are you like?" I noticed you're not in like the Discord matches with us because I didn't realize we could just go sit at the table virtually and just watch the things that way. And I was just watching it on the stream and calling out the cards. And he's like, "Do you just know all the cards like just like that?" I was like, "Yeah, to be honest, I probably look at these on my phone at work more than I should." And so yes, I saw like the brief flash of the picture. I knew exactly what the card was.
Hilarious.
Yeah. But that's gonna do it for Todoroki's kit. I think he's got a really much like set one. He's got a very strong kit. Unlike set one, I think his character is a lot stronger this set. But so I'm excited to see what kind of decks people come up with him. Next up, I believe we're going to talk about Excited for Blood, our first ultra rare foundation. Ryan, would you like to talk to us about some Excited for Blood? Are you excited for some blood, Ryan?
Yeah, this card's sweet, man. So it's a 3/5 +2 high block. Death Evil Life. It's got some Toga Joker bloody smile art going on it. It's got 2 responses on it. Response flip. After your rival loses health, you gain 4 health. And then a response once per turn to lose 2 health. After your rival loses health, draw 1 card. So, I mean, after they lose health, you can gain 2 and draw a card basically if you use both of these responses. Is that how I'm reading this? This card seems awesome, man. It's not unique. You can have a bunch of them out. You can just like gain a bunch of health and draw a bunch of cards after doing any amount of damage to your opponent. And I don't know if you saw Toga, but doesn't she just burn your opponent for damage? Make them lose health, I mean. So I'm excited for this card.
Yeah. Yeah, it's twice per turn. Her R is twice per turn after your rival loses health, gain a health, draw a card, discard a card. So really with her foundation, she can pay 2, gain 3, draw 2 cards,
and discard 1.
And discard 1. So she effectively just nets. She selectively cycles out of 2 cards. So she cycles 1 card, draws 1. So she stays even really with this card in a way. The art is sick. Us fine cultured folks at UA appreciate the arts, and this is going to be probably, I'm going to say it now, the highest grossing XR in the set. I don't care what anyone else says. She's a fan favorite amongst a lot of people, and this is the card that's going to bring in the big bucks. So,
what if it just ends up having the same border and it doesn't have XR?
I think that'd be a tremendous troll on Jasko's part, and I'd love it.
Yeah,
I would love it.
That would be pretty great, actually.
Yeah, it would be great. Yeah. I'm all about the disappointment, so yeah.
So what do you think about the card in general, though, other than the art? What's your thoughts? You doing anything cool with this card?
I mean, other than just gaining health and drawing cards and making my opponent lose health, or well, I guess you're the one losing health. But I think this is card draw on. So life already has some pretty strong card draw, right? Like you have passing the torch, you've got some of the other stuff going on. But Death and Evil sorely needed some card draw. I have looked at Death and yeah, it's a really good high block too. I have looked at like putting together an evil deck, and I'm like, I assemble the cards in UVS Ultra, and I'm like, all right, which of these cards let me draw a card? And it's like, there's one Shigaraki attack that's, if it's not blocked, but it's a mid attack, you draw a card. I'm like, so none of these cards let me draw a card. I don't want to play the symbol. I don't want to play this deck.
Yep.
Right now I talked about it, but we value card draw pretty highly in this game. And this getting this into symbols that like really needed it is really really good. It does kind of suck that it's behind an ultra rare foundation because I think it's going to be hard to get.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is, right?
I mean, I think you slam 4 of these on maybe all of these symbols. I think you just slam 4 of them because anytime they lose health, that includes damage. I want to say even paying costs because they're technically losing health on costs, like Evil Gaze. You could gain health, or you could cycle cards. You can draw cards off of that.
Yeah.
Pay 2 to draw a card. I mean, I'll do that all day. Pay 2, draw a card. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Imagine this in multiples, man. Like you hit your opponent and you just lose like 4 or 6 life to draw 3. Like it's really greedy, but
well, say you've got like 2 or like maybe 3 in play, right? Like I'll take 2 responses to lose 4, draw 2 cards. I'll use the third one to flip it and gain 4 health or something.
Yeah.
And then I'm back to where I was.
But yeah, I think in life I mean, you're competing with Rescue Completed for that 3 diff spot, but you can make room for both of them. Like they don't do the same thing, and yeah, you don't want to play a ton of 3 diffs, but I mean, when you're getting value like this, yeah, you probably want to make room for it.
Like if you don't want to play passing the torch for some random reason, maybe you play this instead.
Or just why not both?
Yeah.
Yes.
¿Por qué no los dos, right?
Why not both?
Yeah, it's a really strong card. I think it's really good. Next up, I believe a card I was kind of excited to see revealed. I almost said spoiled. I had to stop myself. Revealed just because it was referenced on another card we'd already seen.
Yeah.
So we have Faith's Shield, which if you don't remember, it was referenced on Shiozaki's attack, Creeping Vine Eruption, and it's like if it deals, it's a throw, if it deals less than 5 damage, you add 1 copy of Faith's Shield from your discard pile to your hand. So actually, that would also work with the Todoroki, Drowning in Resentment. That would also trigger that. But Faith's Shield, it is a 2/4 +3 mid block. Obviously, Earth, Life, Water. Response remove. After you block with this card, this attack deals no damage. Flip this attack after it resolves. So it's got some wall cling baked in there. It also has Enhanced Destroy. This charge or stun attack gets -2 damage. Yeah, I think this is a really cool foundation. I like this foundation a lot. I don't love the forecheck, but it earns the forecheck, I feel like, for a foundation, right? Yeah, being able to to destroy it, to get something minus damage to help you survive. Then if you have you play your attack, you can pull it back that way. Being able to turn over cards in your opponent's card pool to stop combos and things like that, I think is really powerful.
There's
not a whole lot that really does that.
Yeah.
But what are you guys' thoughts on this card?
Go ahead,
Ryan. I think this card is good. I don't love that this card has Water and Life on it, because Water is already doing this stuff, and Life, and Water already has all these awesome defensive pieces. I think it's going to be extremely annoying to play against, honestly. But that being said, I think the card's strong. It's a +3 mid block to get the effect. But it does remove itself from your card pool after you do it. And it, like you said, it seals, or no, it just flips. It doesn't seal. It just flips their attack over. But yeah, I mean, +3 block. You got to have some speed reduction to take full effect. But hey, you get Rescue Completed, so it's cool. But yeah, I like this card. It's good. I just hate that it has the symbols on it that it has.
I get that. It's going to be really annoying going against water and life decks just in general, because water is so defensive, and that's not even a word, defensive, and so is life. I think Earth does have a home in Earth, because they have some tools to deal with. I guess this is what we call this is like throw hate in a way. because you're gonna any non. It's actually momentum hate too, because it's gonna flip the attack, and the attack just becomes a blank card, and it just gets discarded. It doesn't go to momentum. It doesn't go anywhere. It just sits there. So against like your Frappies of the world, or your Chaco ones, and people who need to combo, like even Bakugo too, who needs to combo off stuff. You're looking at ways to stop their game plan, which is pretty good. Hey, you don't want to get Texas smashed? Flip that first card, and you don't get Texas smashed. But like Ryan said, you're going to need some sort of speed hate with it, just because that +3 mid block is a big oof in my eyes. But it's definitely going to see sideboards in if it's not main decked, it's sideboarded in every one of these symbols.
It does kind of suck that I feel like it's competing with a spot with wall cling, right? Because I don't really think you're running both of these unless you're just like doing a super defense, like I don't want to die ever, but then like I don't know.
It depends on the format, man. If it continues being really fast, where you're getting exploded constantly, and you need to be able to block and clear your own card pool and block every zone, I mean, maybe you do play both of them.
That's true.
I mean, it's a neat hand trap that gets out of your card pool. So,
yes,
it's a block that removes itself, which is fantastic, and it stops them from dealing damage and getting momentum.
Yep.
I think it's going to have a home. It's just, I think like Ryan said, it's going to compete with wall cling most of the time, but it kind of do similar things, but one gets rid of like more stuff than the other, so maybe it does get supplanted. Maybe wall cling does lose. Maybe you bring these in against throw and combo decks, and you pitch wall cling. You side these in and out, depending on your matchup.
Yeah.
Or, well, so if you're playing I was going to say if you're playing a set 2 character, then plus ultra thing doesn't really work, but it still does because it's just the enhanced that has to be the set 1 character. So disregard what I didn't even say.
Done.
Lastly, on this first group of previews, we do have, and I want to say this right, Fusion. Chris, would you like to tell us about Fusion?
For those listening and not watching, John did do air quotes around this for you.
I am committed to the bit.
Oh, sure. Who want?
I was gonna say you want to tell us about Fusion?
Yeah, I'll go over. I'm sorry. I was kind of listening to you guys talk and just not really paying attention at the same time.
No, that's fine.
So it's Fusion. Ha! So sorry, a copyright probably, but I'm sorry about that. Hopefully we don't get striked. It's 1/5 +2 mid. It is a rare keyword ally, which is kind of neat because I think Tokiyami does Tokiyami 2 have void?
It's air.
He has air. Yeah.
That's air? Oh, he works. Cool. Tokiyami can pick this up as a block. So that's kind of neat. Shows you how much I pay attention to other cards that I'm probably not going to play. I apologize. He has 2 enhances. One is commit. Your EX or kick attack gets +2 speed. Cool. And then it has enhanced commit. Your rival's attack gets -2 speed. That's really cool. And in certain characters, this gets readied once a turn. Maybe the character that it has on it is Ida 3. So that's pretty neat. It gives more speed and more speed hate to those nice eraser decks that people love to play against. You are not ever hitting that, man. I'm going to tell you that right now. So, it's a good card. I think it's very worth the rare. I don't think you're going to be mad opening up like 10 of these in your boxes. I don't think you'll ever be mad. Unless you're not playing those symbols, and then you're probably mad. So, I don't know if Void really needed the extra speed hate because it has so much, but a lot of it's like just like because mediators destroy. They're there, and then they have heroic lineage. And the other and tapes flip on a mid, and so maybe they didn't need the speed hate, but whatever. It's a rare. It's for a character that has 2 cards in the set, so I don't think it's that terrible. It's not that egregious, but I think the card's really good. Probably. It's probably going to have the whole ice sliding problem where it's going to compete on certain symbols for certain cards slots. So it just depends on what you value over others.
Yep.
Ryan, what do you think about that?
So I think Order is the only one of these symbols that doesn't really have speed hate right now, right? Does it have anything? I guess it has tape.
It has heroic lineage.
And heroic lineage. Okay, so
and tape.
Yeah. So So I don't love the card. I think it's fine. Like I'd probably play it in decks because it's good spam, but I'm never gonna be excited about enhanced commit for -2 speed because it's like netting me 1, right?
Yeah.
And then I would maybe be excited about enhanced commit for +2 speed, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I don't look at this card and get excited. I'm probably wrong about it. You know, it's probably totally fine. If people are gonna play it, it's gonna be awesome. But I'm just not excited when I look at this card. You know, it doesn't bring me joy when I look at this card.
I mean, it's a foundation, so it's hard to get excited about foundations, but I get it.
I mean, it does. Like every time I look at it, I do see the Dragon Ball Z fusion dance happening, so that does bring me joy, but not the actual abilities on the card.
Yep.
John?
I was gonna say I like it just because it is. We don't have a whole lot of enhanced commit cards. I feel like in My Hero, a lot of it is they're just one shot. You flip them and then that's it. So I do think it's neat that there is a little bit more of the enhanced commit cards in this set. They're kind of fleshing that out a little bit. So it is neat that way because you do actually have like a renewable resource. You have a renewable speed hate on your turn, and obviously with E3 you can ready it, or like requesting assistance you can ready it, or I don't know, pick any billion air cards that ready something. I'm sure they all kind of do it some way, right? So that's neat. You do have ways to like maybe abuse it that way. So I think it's pretty cool. Anything like it's like we said, it's a 1 difficulty foundation that like gives +2 speed selectively. But if you're playing it, you're gonna structure your attacks so that all of them would hit this presumably. And then just a blanket -2 speed is always handy. I think it's a perfectly good card. I think it's a decent rare. It's only a +2 mid block, which is nice. So I feel like a lot of the spam 1 diff foundations have kind of bad blocks. So this one having a decent one is nice.
Well, until you see the 1/6s with like +1 lows and +1 high blocks.
Yeah, unless you're good. Unless you have a good symbol.
Yeah.
It's true. Bonds of Friendship, that card.
Yeah, that card's nuts,
I don't get
man.
it, but whatever.
It's friendship, man. It's the power of friendship. It saves you.
There you go. But yeah, I think it's a totally fine card. And I believe that is the last of the previews for this block